Peter Jackson's King Kong is a game that I played constantly as a kid, and it frightened the living hell out of me. Hell, it still frightens me as an adult. This is one of my favorite games of all time, but I have a question. Can you beat Peter Jackson's King Kong using only spears? Here are some ground rules for this challenge. Number 1, I cannot use any kind of firearm to kill an enemy, only spears. I also turned off the inventory and crosshair in the game to make it a bit more difficult. Number 2, I can use melee attacks such as Jack's hand attack, where he just kind of punches the enemy with the buttstock or just stabs him with a spear. Number 3, accidentally firing my weapon to kill an enemy means restarting the level. Number 4, Kong levels are excluded because, well, Kong don't use no spear. Nuff said, start the run. We begin our journey on a ship called the Venture, traveling to a magical place called Skull Island, where absolutely nothing could go wrong. As we're lowered down into a rowboat, Captain Inklehorn tells us some disturbing news.
Are you crazy, Inklehorn? This is it! This is the hidden island I've spent 8 weeks searching for! I didn't come 12,000 miles on your stinking ship to give up now! I'm landing on that island if it kills me! Let's go, boy!
After that brief exchange, we sail to Skull Island. It's almost as if these rocks are going to be our downfall. I hope someone says something.
Look out for the rock! It's gonna fall on us! That little thing, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Keep going.
What if I told you that in fact, it was not fine? After nearly dying trying to get to Skull Island, we wake up on the beachhead and lets us know that one of the sailors in our party has been killed and we have to proceed on. While I was taking a nappy nap, Hayes is trying to figure out a way to contact Inklehorn while Carl is just being Carl.
Oh, I can't believe it! This is it! The Island of the Skull. What a place to shoot a picture. This movie's gonna make so much money.
After exploring around a little bit, we find a secret cave passage which leads us to a group of enemies, our first group of enemies, and has a nice little tiki torch and lights the way for us so that we can see our opponents, while Hayes has a weapon for us to fight off said opponents. But there's just one issue. It's not a spear. So I did what I do best. I tried to encourage Hayes as best as I could, just whacking my gun in the air. Hayes is probably one of the best AI companions I've ever played with in a video game, because he was able to shoot almost all these crab spiders dead as soon as I ran up and started trying to punch him. Thanks, Hayes! After getting out of the cave, we can see the Venture in the distance. One day we'll get back there. After exploring a bit further down, we come across a big wooden door. It looks like it can be opened with 2 people pushing 2 levers. These doors are in the game everywhere, so get used to seeing them. While me and Hayes are pushing the door open, Carl and Ann want to shoot some test shots, and I don't really think the island likes it. I mean, y'all tell me.
And action. Scream, Ann! Scream for your life!
What was that?
As soon as I see the little shits approaching, I go to the nearest carcass and grab what's called a bone spear. This is about to be our baby throughout the game. Now that we've gotten our primary weapon throughout the game, it's time to explain how it works. The spear I currently have in my hand is a bone spear. This bone spear is very fragile, does a little damage, and will break after a few hits. However, it's unlimited, so if I see a corpse or a pile of bones, I can pick up another one. What's what? Oh! 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 It turns out the giant spider crab didn't like all the noise we were making, so we did it a favor and put it out of its misery so it wouldn't have to hear us anymore.
Great, Jack! Fantastic!
After killing the endangered species, we quickly get out of there so PETA wouldn't get on our asses and shut our film production down. Captain Inklehorn passes with his seaplane. I think he's trying to pick us up, but he can't find a good stretch of water to land on, so we're gonna have to continue in the jungle. Inklehorn, however, remains a true goat and drops us a crate. Inside of it is a shotgun with some shells. It's sad though because I can't use it. I tried to give it to Hayes, but Hayes just sort of looked at me funny. He might be a little sleepy. Throughout the game, Captain Anklehorn will drop these crates around the map containing weapons that we just can't use. We're gonna stick to the good old-fashioned spear. Now you're probably wondering, Rogue, why don't you just give the weapons to Carl or Anne? Well, they cannot use firearms. They mostly use spears and they hand them to you. In a normal game of King Kong, they would be your support helping you out. Another thing to keep our eye on is our teammates. Our teammates can die in this and it will cause us to fail the game. Normally it's them trapped within a monster's claws, you just have to hit the monster once and set them free. After all the enemies are defeated, we open the door and move on to the next area. We link up with Jimmy, Preston, and the others, but they can't pull ashore. The current's too strong. So we vow to link up later. Me, Hayes, Ann, and Carl find a tomb, only to eventually find out that it was home to a bunch of predators, but that's okay. I think throughout the entire run, this is the only point that gave me problems. I had to reset 3 or 4 times because I kept on shooting my gun by accident. It's almost as if Jack has sleight of hand from Call of Duty, the way he's able to aim up and aim in and gun down so quickly. After disposing of all the pests, we continue forward, where Carl wants to lead the way. Leads the way straight into getting hunted. After watching him wiggle around for a little bit, I finally saved him.
Is it broken?
No, I think you'll be okay.
Not me, I was talking about the camera.
I don't know about the camera. I only know how to fix up people.
Eventually we found our way out of the cave, only to be separated again by a loose springboard. Anne climbs across to come with me and we push forward on the Skull Island. Now, time for one last game mechanic. Let's say we kill an enemy, and there are other enemies around.
Did you see that? All the species on this island eat each other.
We get this big door open and realize that there are some flesh-eating spiders. No problem, grab some bait, throw it to the side, and run past. To the next area we go. And Darrow and I find our way out of the tombs and eventually see a fire, as well as a gigantic wall. Either way, we insist on getting to the wall as quick as possible and reuniting with Mr. Hayes and Carl Denham. The only way forward is to swim, and Anne says that she'll cover me, so I let her cover me while I go for a swim. She's actually a better shot than Mr. Hayes sometimes, and that's saying a lot considering he has a gun and she's using a fucking spear. He's got a goddamn cannon! After swimming around for a bit, Anne helps me out of the lake. Now's a good time to mention, we also got the improved spears, which do more damage. Me and Anne make our way through, no problem. And hell, we even find a few friends on the way as well. We see Carl and Hayes along the other side of this little ridge. Hayes, fortunately, has the sniper rifle and wants to give it to me. But as you know, I must stay loyal as a spearist. Unfortunately, we get ambushed by a millipede and, well, I drop my spear picking up Hayes' sniper rifle. So now it's down to melee. Is it gone? Oh, thank God. Oh, fuck! After trying not to shit myself for the past 30 seconds, I run back to the bone pile, grab a spear, and take the fucker out. Hayes tells me to take care of the sniper rifle I will never use, and we move on to the next area. Anne and I continue our way through Skull Island. While killing, however, we noticed that the bushes and trees started speaking italics.
Over there.
It's probably nothing. Me and Anne eventually come upon a great big door that needs to be opened.
There's a winch up here. I can open the door for you.
Fantastic, Anne. Open the door. So far, our spirit only runs looking amazing. Nothing could go wrong now.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey guys. Were you guys the ones speaking italics earlier? After getting the chance to take another nap, we wake up to realize the horror that's going on. Not only are we bound and tied behind our back, Anne's being offered as a sacrifice to something. And baby, the moment you all been waiting for, here he comes now. Kong takes Anne and it looks like all hope is lost. There's nothing we can do anyway. Our hands are tied up, bound, and gagged.
Jack!
Carl, thank God. You got away from him.
Carl, managing to give the villagers a slip, managed to cut us free, and we can be on our merry way back to exploring Skull Island. As we're escaping, we get spotted by the locals. As we're running through the jungle, I pick up one of the villagers' spears. I know it will be helpful for later. Carl and I managed to escape the pesky villagers all with ease. Me and the fire spear still intact.
I have no idea where Hayes is. We got separated. I just hope he's still
Damn it!
alive.
That means I'm not gonna have anybody to help me shoot. I mean, hi Carl! Carl and I continue to explore until we find a big giant door. Then Carl notices something weird.
Over there! Something moved!
See, that's a fucking dinosaur. I'm taking Carl's advice. I just wish Carl would take his own advice. After rescuing Carl, we take out any remaining enemies in the area. We get through that door and we get on to the next area. While opening the door, Jack drops a pretty good funny.
I thought these things were supposed to be extinct.
Well, they are now.
Didn't like that one? Carl drops another funny here too.
Jack, I gotta take a break.
Fine. I could do with the rest myself.
No, I gotta change the film roll.
Carl Denham and I continue our pilgrimage through Skull Island. We even run into an old friend. However, it's unlike Carl not to keep himself out of trouble. He gets kidnapped by this flying pterodactyl thing and I have to go save him.
Hang on, Carl, I'm coming!
On cue, more of these little bitch things bats show up and we take good care of them pretty quickly. There's a little strategy that I picked up doing now, where I will launch the spear into an enemy, pick the spear out of its corpse, and proceed to throw it right back into him again. And just when I thought life couldn't get any worse, the baby dinos showed back up. But they weren't that bad. While I was trying to find Carl, I kept on hearing his voice giving me words of wisdom. And so I did. I tracked down Carl and the beast to its nest, and I took it down. I thought this boss fight would be a little bit more annoying, but the most annoying of it was the bats. Other than that, the boss itself works in a very specific way. The boss is always going to get into his stance. It will make a scream to charge at you. You can move out of the way or hit it with a spear to knock it back. If you don't, it will damage you. You take 2 hits and you're down for the count. I was able to launch multiple spears at the boss to take it down a lot easier. It helps. I need every advantage I can get if I'm only going to be using spears on Skull Island.
Jack, this island is amazing.
After beating it, Carl takes a picture so it can last longer, and we head for the exit door. While walking toward the exit gate, Carl gives me some wise words every YouTuber wishes they would hear.
Come on, Jack. You're writing the best script of your career.
Carl and I continue our search through the jungle. We even managed to kill a few dinos along the way as well. After killing all the dinos in the area, me and Carl ran into a cave, which we proceeded to get lost in while killing more Millapedes. All in all, not too bad for a cave on Skull Island. Carl eventually tells me he found the way out, so we proceed to follow him, cause Carl has totally been going the right way so far. We eventually run into the man, the myth, the goat himself.
Hayes! Thank God you've escaped!
Hayes lets us know that he is trapped on the other side of the sledge. We could burn the bushes with some fire, which is conveniently across the way from him, but we have to get there first. Standing in our way currently is 2 dinos and a 3rd dino that will spawn in as soon as we go near Hayes. Now, Mr. Hayes is a sound mind and body person. Once I go there, he'll toss me the machine gun and I'll gun them all down. However, I'm a madman, and it's spearicide around here. Now, at the moment, I can't just outright kill the dinos. We don't have enough spears. However, Hayes has an infinite stack of bone spears next to that ledge. Our goal is to get there. Once we have the infinite spears, we're going to take out the dinos and get Hayes to come back down and help us. Until then, we're stuck playing hide and go seek with these dinos. Eventually, I outsmart the dinos and get to Hayes, kill the dinosaur that's there, and burn the bushes for Mr. Hayes to get back across the way. Afterwards, we deal with our 2 pesky dinos with our fire and spear combo and kill both of them. We all regroup back up near this cave and we enter, only to hear something roaring.
Okay, Denim. Sounds like we're about to find your 25-foot gorilla.
No, that wasn't Kong. That was something else.
If you were ever a kid and played this game, you already know what level we're on.
Carl! There's an enormous, I don't know, it's some kind of monster, but we got away, but he's still around here! Oh my God! Run, Jimmy, run! Hayes! Retreat! Retreat!
That, my friends, is Skull Island's T-Rex, or V-Rex as it's known. That enemy is the most dangerous enemy in this game. It can one-shot kill you from basically, well, anything. Right now, our goal is to hold him out long enough so that Carl and Hayes can open the door. I managed to outsmart the V-Rex and hold him off long enough for the door to open. Once I knew I was in the clear, I immediately started to show my dominance by teabagging. The V-Rex didn't like that, and proceeded to spin the block by coming through those rocks to come kill us. Scared absolutely shitless, we ran for cover, and proceeded to hide like a bunch of wimpy babies. We didn't expect the V-Rex to follow us home into our makeshift house, but he did, and now he's gonna blast the entire building down. Luckily, we're saved by the skin of our teeth by hearing Anne scream. Thank God. I mean, oh no, Anne, no! After barely scraping by the skin of our teeth, we get out only to see Carl doing, well, what Carl does best. We get our key to progress the game, and fortunately, we are once again separated from our squad. Hayes specifically said to go on ahead, which we kindly oblige and do. On to the next level. After losing Carl and Hayes, I push forward by myself. I take on a couple of little dinos, and I put them down with little to no trouble. More did try to spawn in the area, but I just ran away, and they just lost interest. I actually find Anne. She's just on the other side of a big ass tree branch. Our goal now is to cover her until we're able to meet back up with her, but unfortunately, The big pterodactyl thing that took Carl takes Anne. Jax just stands there not knowing what to do. Little does he know, he's not the one that needs to do anything. Now, I know we just met, but this is a wellness check. You and I have been here for 20 minutes. Take a break, eat a snack, drop a like and subscribe if you like the content, man. Please and thank you. Now back to the video. Now the next chapter is a Kong segment. We said that we were gonna skip Kong segments but slightly skim over them. Here's a recap of it. Anne gets taken by the pterodactyl. We are in hot pursuit to get her back. Kong quickly tracks the beast down to its nest, rips its fucking head off, and gets Anne back in the most funniest cutscene I've seen in this game. While Anne was busy getting busy with Kong, I was busy trying to survive. We're about to come up to one of the hardest points of the run where there is a bridge in this canyon. There are a bunch of bats on the bridge. I'm not gonna fight all those bats one-on-one because that's almost suicide. And even if I did fight them, they would all just gang up on me and jump me. So I did what I did best. I grabbed some bait, I let it set down, and while every single bat was distracted, I killed every one of them with the infinite dull spears. Once I took out the garbage, I crossed the bridge safely and dropped down into a little water pool. I thought about going swimming, but I saw something that I just couldn't take my eyes off of. After staring awfully long at the Brontosauruses, we continue forward and push on. We light our way back up the canyon by burning these bushes dead ahead. I even get to see Captain Anklehorn again. He tells me to go fuck myself. After that, we find a cave, and it's totally not crawling with anything. It's crawling with fucking everything. I managed to clear the cave and get through it, accidentally jump scared by a Megapede. I continue my way through the cave. However, another problem arose. Spiders. We throw some bait to take care of the spiders, kill the millipede giving us trouble on this tiny ass bridge, and complete the level. We find our way out of the cave and meet up with Mr. Hayes and Carl Denham. They ask me if I have any idea where Anne is, and I tell them I don't know, I thought they knew. So we come to our first roadblock. Mr. Hayes and Carl Denham are trying to get through a door right now. They need to be covered and have support, or else they'll shit the bucket and die. I cannot cover them because I only have a sniper rifle. There are no spears in the area that I can throw to help them out at this time. So I'm honestly tossing up the coin and hoping they make it. And surprisingly they do. They run through the gate and move on. Hayes even thanks me for doing absolutely nothing but staring at them. We push forward as well, only to come to the next roadblock in this challenge. This is where the run broke my sanity a little bit. Hayes and Carl Denham need to get through a door. No surprise there. They need to get through a door in order to meet up with me on the other side of it. The thing is, all my spears are back on the other side of the bridge. If I bring some over there and try to get there, Hayes will die. I had to experiment a lot with this portion of the game because everybody just kept on dying somehow. But I didn't let that stop me. I kept going as long as I could until finally something magical happened. Currently on this run, Carl almost has the door open. He opens it up fully and more crap spiders show up. But the thing is, we need to make sure that both of them are protected to get underneath the door. Hayes is currently injured and down. As I'm going to get another spear to help him out, Carl does The most realist MVP thing I've ever seen him do. Probably the thing that he was born for. He stops pulling on the door after I save Hayes and pulls him inside. Thank God too, because Hayes definitely would have died. And I can't tell you how fast I sprinted to the nearest cave or the next area as soon as I realized they both made it through the door. I was relieved. I headed to a nearby cave where I regrouped with Mr. Hayes and Carl, take on some more crap spiders. Hayes and Carl were a little salty that I didn't help them, so they threw a Megapede at me. Go figure. We get on ground level of the canyon only to run into the Brontosauruses again. We go past him and take some cover, only to find out that we need fire for the door. Hayes sends me to go find fire because he remembers there being an urn all the way back beyond the other side of the canyon with a fire in it. We can use that to burn down the bushes and get through the door. So we're off to the races, racing through Brontosauruses and killing dinosaurs in between their feet, making sure to stay away from anything that wants to eat us. The best strategy I had for this level was stay in between the little sort of cave systems that were there. I even accidentally got stepped on a bronco when I tried to get too greedy. As we're making our way downtown, walking fast, making friends, trying not to get eaten by dinos, we finally find some fire that we can use. But I know something's off. The Brontosauruses have stopped walking. They're nowhere in sight to be seen. Interesting. I'm not gonna think too much of it. We grab the fire and burn some bushes ahead of us, making sure to get back there as quick as possible, until we hear something absolutely fucking terrifying. That's right, we have a V-Rex coming. We need to get back quick. The Brontos were just as terrified. They're running just as fast as I am. We quickly rush through the area, getting back as quick as we can with our fire, hoping to avoid the V-Rex's wrath. We managed to make it through by the skin of our teeth, but that was just barely. Hayes congratulates me, and we move on to the next level. We escape the canyon only to end up in a valley and accidentally discover Kong's Lair. And we know it's Kong's Lair because Carl says so.
That's where I'd live if I was king of this island.
We move deeper into the valley. Here's a gameplay segment because I know it's been mostly cutscenes so far. Hopefully you guys like the segment. We're going to proceed with a little bit more plot though. So, a little more plot, a little less gameplay. Stay tuned and hang in there, we're almost done. We continue down the valley until we find JIMMEH. Now I know I haven't talked about JIMMEH much, but JIMMEH is a crewmate of the venture. He's here to help us find Andero. However, he's currently stuck on a raft that's currently getting invaded by many dinos. I honestly didn't expect to miss that many spears. I was probably just having an off day. But JIMMEH definitely fucking died. I hit the magical undo button and saved JIMMEH's life. Don't worry, it's fine now. He's not dead permanently. Or is he? We save JIMMEH and proceed going down the valley. The Skull Islanders try to trap us, but we quickly escape and destroy all their dinos. We meet back up with JIMMEH, who is on a raft, and we get on the same raft. Everybody moves on a raft and we move upstream to go to the next level. The Skull Islanders wouldn't stop following us, so we sung London Bridges to them. They took it personally. JIMMEH kept on complaining to me on the raft that I wasn't singing loud enough, so I sung louder and heard nothing but cheering. managed to get rid of the Skull Islanders, but now there was a bigger problem. We're chased down the rapids by V-Rexes. We're backed up and cornered, going right toward a V-Rex's jaws. That is until... Kong manages to kill the V-Rex with ease. Anne, however, runs away and escapes from me, but then she starts screaming when she runs into two V-Rexes. Kong quickly makes his way over there, dispatches the two V-Rexes, and passes out in faints, and Kong takes her to his lair. Jack and his crew landed in the swamps. As we explored the swamps, we found many creatures. One of these creatures being an alligator from Florida.
Mr. Hayes, I heard it. Get ready, Jack.
This is probably the only time I didn't like swimming. We took turns guiding each other across the swamps, clearing it for one another until we reached the end of it, only to find out it just wouldn't fucking end.
Hey Jack, you want to quit counting out loud? Or maybe you want to attract more of those things.
One magazine on backup.
We make it out of the swamps into some kind of flesh pit cave area.
God, what's that smell? It's like rotting flesh.
Hey, I wonder what Kong and Anne are up to. Kong and Anne are going about their day, having normal adventures, getting chased by dinos in Skull Island. Anne, of course, eventually runs into a V-Rex and we have to save her. However, Mr. Hayes sees this and gets a little trigger happy.
No! Keep your hands off her!
So, you want to hear how I went up against the mighty Kong and how I fared? Well, I didn't. He threw me off a fucking log. We wake up to see Carl's camera smashed right in our face, as well as Carl himself destroyed, not wanting to continue the adventure. We hear Anne scream and I go to chase after her. The Skull Islanders ambushed Anne and Kong. Kong is able to make quick work of all of them and get away from the scene. As he's taking Anne back to his lair, he notices that a rock is blocking his door. As he's lifting up the rock, he's ambushed by a V-Rex and Anne's on the run. We cut back to Jack as we see Anne getting chased by the V-Rex. Noticing the V-Rex is on her heels, she jumps off the waterfall in a fuck it situation. We follow downstream to see the V-Rex is chasing Anne. We need to find something to lure the V-Rex away. A spear to the face should do the trick. Now that he's distracted, Anne's opening a door behind us so that we can meet up with her later. We distract the V-Rex long enough so that Anne gets the door open, and eventually meet up and rescue her. We even run into Jimmy and Mr. Hayes. We have a full crew again. Nothing can go wrong. We find a nearby cave that we go inside. We even go for a nearby swim. But I don't think Kong likes that very much, because when we found him looking at us, he looked devastated. Like a heartbroken puppy dog after you dump him for the prom because there's a better attractive male around. I'm not projecting. We make it out of the cave and move on to the next level. Kong goes back to his lair doing the walk of shame, claiming he ain't no bitch while knowing he got bitched out. We proceed to the next area, which is blocked by, of course, a big giant door. But unfortunately, we're ambushed. We get up to the top where the door is at and set up a pretty good defense. The dinos come in waves. We're holding them off to the best of our ability. Jamie's picking up Hayes, I'm throwing spears in the dinosaurs. I'm just hoping for the best. We managed to get them all taken down so we can take a quick breather. But then we heard something.
Down there, Jack! Get ready! This one's twice as big!
While it's not quite a V-Rex, it's still a threat regardless. He's basically an evolved raptor. He takes twice as much damage. So, what did I do? Well, I cheesed him out. The fellow raptors down below me were friends. They thought of me as not food. They decided to help us out on our journey by taking as much damage away from that V-Rex wannabe as they possibly can. So I simply helped them by staying all the way in the back corner and just throwing spears at them the entire time. And to my surprise, it worked. The dang thing died, I took out the last raptor, and all we had to do was worry about opening the door. The door needed some fire and another lever. We have one cave to the left and one cave to the right. I went to the cave on the right first, died, came back, killed whatever killed me, then proceeded to get the lever. Moving on to the next cave. This cave was slightly more chill. It only had crab spiders inside of it. They weren't too bad. All I had to do now is just get the fire and be on my way back to the door, and it's on to the next level. We end up back in the swamps with a full team. A few baby dinos try to attack us, but they're no match for us at this point. Through the power of friendship and my team's coordination, we all reach the same wavelength of, we want to get off this fucking island. Speaking of getting off the island, Captain Inklehorn heard us fighting. He's close by somewhere. He can probably land nearby if there's a solid stretch of water. Our goal now is to get through the swamps and find him. We try to see if we can see him on top of this tomb, but unfortunately one of those pterodactyl bat things show up, push to the top of the little tomb and start taking it on. As usual, it's very easy. The boss's telegraph patterns really give it away, so this boss was no problem for me and the crew. We push deeper into the swamps and find a little house with more Florigators. We take them out with ease. As we're coming out the house, I asked Jimmy and Hayes to rate my YouTube content.
Nightmare. Glad you think so too.
That's just not right. Inklehorn finally found a stretch of water to land on. It's finally over. The run, the spears, all of it. We can finally get out of here, guys. We can escape. We can actually fucking escape!
Look out!
I figured it was too good to be true. We haul ass to a nearby temporary shelter. Bushes in the way as well as these little wood boards alike. We have to carefully navigate through it because every single misstep we take, the V-Rex gets closer. We finally make it to the nearby shelter, but as it turns out, we're trapped here. That V-Rex wants us. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So Anne thinks of an idea. The only idea an absolutely insane person would think of. She wants to call her boyfriend. I wish I had a 25-foot gorilla on speed dial. Make my life so much easier. Before we're even able to summon Kong, the V-Rex from before spins the block on our asses and makes us hide in some nearby ruins. With no options left, we decide to call Kong. The V-Rex is closing in, and quickly runs out to try to call Kong, and we have to cover her. The thing is, I didn't know what she was planning. She just sort of ran out, and she got caught almost immediately. This time, I was gonna kill the bats while Anne was walking, then walk behind her as soon as I killed one of the bats. Unfortunately, the V-Rex saw through that and stepped on me. This time, we're able to keep Anne safe and protected while she calls Kong. Kong takes Anne back from us. Hayes doesn't really like that very much, so he starts shooting Kong. Unfortunately, in his blind rage, Hayes gets ran over by a V-Rex and is critically injured. Me and Jimmy help out Hayes while Kong gets taken down. Kong and the V-Rex duke it out, but we know it's not long until Kong does what he does best. While we weren't looking, the blue pterodactyl boss took Anne. I'm not going to show you the fight. Here's me killing it at the end, and we're going to move on to the next level. Kong finally makes it back to his lair with Anne in tow. They both proceed to the lair to rest, not knowing what's going to come tomorrow. Jack, Jimmy, and Hayes are recovering from everything that transpired. We're waiting on Anklehorn to come back so we can take Mr. Hayes to get a medic. But it's already too late. Mr. Hayes succumbs to his injuries in the cave. He passes away while Jimmy and I have to fight off the remaining dinos. Rest in peace, Mr. Hayes. Gone but not forgotten. Me and Jimmy were so furious, we took all of our anger out in the final round. We hear Anklehorn spin the block and we immediately make our way over there. A funny thing happened while I was heading to the next area. I jumped down here and Jimmy just fucking died. It's like he's allergic to stairs or something. The logical answer is, I got too far away from him, and he died because I was too far. The answer we're going with? He tripped on some stairs and died. Rip Jimmy. Me and Jimmy raced to Anklehorn, clearing a way using teamwork to get past the dinos. Jimmy is overall a good companion. He goes to go get spears, he hands you spears when you need them. He's great. We get to Captain Anklehorn and Jack tells Jimmy to climb in. He'll take care of the rest himself. Jimmy, hesitant, climbs in the plane with Anklehorn, and Anklehorn tells us that Kong is in his lair at the tip top of the mountain. That's where we're headed to next. We have to go save Anne all on our own. No more teammates, no more Hayes, no more Carl, no more Jimmy. It's all up to us to save Anne, and we're gonna do it. I make my way to the entrance of Kong's lair, only to see it guarded by a bunch of pterodactyls. At this point, they're no challenge for me. They're just cannon fodder. I make my way up to the lair. I'm making my way up to Kong's lair, but it is just bat hell over here. There's so many of them. I killed those bats, but more just kept on spawning in, so I did what any adventurer would do. I ran away like a pussy into Kong's lair. No point in doing any unnecessary risk when we're this close to victory. That and fuck those bats, we can just go through and fight these dinosaurs instead. That's right, we reached the inside of Kong's lair, and this is sort of the game's final test for you, if you want to say. They spawn in 2 of these Raptor V-Rex bosses. The game probably expects you to use all your firepower here, but by firepower, we only have spears, and we unfortunately just ran out. I make a mad dash to find some kind of bone carcass or a spear I can use. This dinosaur follows me in hot pursuit. I'm able to get upstairs to the 2nd floor and launch some spears into his back, but then something interesting happens. I went downstairs to see if I could find any weapons anywhere. He tried to barge in like other dinos, but he brought the building down. It scared the crap out of me because I didn't know what to do. Luckily there was a building across the way I got in, but if y'all have ever seen a full dinosaur chase you after crashing your place of safety for most of the game, it's terrifying. Luckily the abandoned home that I was staying in had some fire and some spears on the 2nd floor, so I take out V-Rex Light no problem. However, there is a problem. V-Rex Light 2 shows up. Unfortunately, V-Rex Light over here has me cornered. I'm down to my last spear and I see some bushes to my left. I make a dash for the bushes and light them on fire. However, V-Rex Light is to my right. I launch my spear in and out of him, and unfortunately throw my spear away into the fire. I'm fucked. It's almost as if he knew it too, because he started stalking me, just waiting for me to come out. Every time I would try to leave, he would always get in my way, but somehow, someway, I literally pulled a spear out of my ass. I light my spear on fire and chuck it at him. He starts limping, and if he's limping, that means that he's low. He does the same method of adventuring that I do, and that's running the fuck away. I managed to find more spears and I finally find a way to kill this dino. Thank God, dude was stalking me. We get a lever we need for a wooden door, and we're able to proceed through to the next area. This mission is very short, nothing happens in it, but we find Kong and Anne in the heart of Kong's lair. We shout out to Anne to come escape with us and she happily agrees. As we're escaping though, a giant worm shows up and Kong unfortunately wakes up, leading us into another Kong segment. Kong gets into a fight with this gigantic worm in his lair. What he doesn't notice is that me and Anne slip out in the background, but whenever he does, oh boy, he's pissed. While Kong was fighting Worm Boy, Anne and I decided to escape. Our time at Skull Island was done. We jumped off of the nearest mountain we could think of, only to land in some water and get in the nearest raft. I'm glad Anne finally had the courage to leave her boyfriend. We just constantly kept on running away from that guy. Hopefully he doesn't show back up. When we got on the raft, I felt like someone was watching me. I just couldn't think of who. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. It might be no one. Anne and I make our way back to the cave we were in before we found Hayes. Not only that, but we have Kong on our asses. How can this get any worse?
Oh, thank God. You're eating.
I really need to stop jinxing it. And I were throwing everything at this dino. He just had a lot of health. After a long and lengthy battle, we finally managed to get his ass down. It just took forever. We saw Anne's ex-boyfriend. I think he was looking for us, but we really didn't want to have a conversation with him. He seems a little crazy. So we crouched away and left as quickly as possible. He even stuck his hand through the cave trying to look for her. Freaky. Anne is concerned that if Kong tries to come after her, Denim, Anklehorn, and everyone else on the venture is going to try to capture him. She's 100% right to be afraid of this because it's exactly what's going to happen. Not to mention, the bushes are speaking italics again. Ann and I are still backtracking through Skull Island in previous levels, but it's business as usual. See a dino, kill a dino. The Skull Islanders find us and start throwing burning torches at us, but we quickly escape to the next level. Hey, stop. First, thanks for sticking with me for so long. Hopefully your day or night is going fantastic. Second, this is the last Jack level with enemies in the game. So what does that mean? Technically, the run's over. We did it. But we still have a story to finish. I can't tell you guys how much I absolutely love this game. I've been working on this video for a while, so like it up and support it. And stay with me, let's finish this out together. I promise I'll show an alternate ending at the end to make up for your time. Pinky promise? Ann and I camped for the night and waited till daytime to make our move. Ann and I sneak past right to the wall, but something looks strange here. The entire village looks deserted. Ann volunteers herself to go across the bridge to find something to help us get through the wall. Unfortunately, it turns out to be a trap and Ann is captured by the Skull Islanders once again. And as y'all already know, there's nothing we can do. It's all on his hands now. Kong immediately knows where Ann is at. He hops through the Skull Islanders' wall and tears it down with no remorse. He goes into the Skull Islanders' camp and destroys all of them one by one. Their houses, their villages, their landmarks, all of it gone. Kong finally finds Ann trapped inside of a running volcano. He immediately goes to free her and they make their escape. All seems good until Ann starts warning him to turn around, something's gonna happen. Well, what? What is it, Ann?
Down there! No! Don't shoot him! I need him alive! Use the gas bombs! No! It's working!
We spawn in as Jack on the beachhead and we get to see Kong's sleepy boy body. Now he's taking a nap. How does it feel? Carl says something that hopefully isn't gonna bite him in the ass. Let's find out.
Whole world's gonna pay to see this. In a few months, his name will be up in lights on Broadway. Kong, the 8th wonder of the world!
We pack Kong up and take him to New York with us. It was probably a bad idea, but I don't think it'll come back to bite us in any way. Carl Denham takes the stage, front in tow, and unveils the mighty Kong. The curtain lights swing open as flash photography hits Kong from all over the place. Pictures, people screaming, cameras everywhere. Kong can't take it anymore. The cameras, the action, everything. He gets his grip and breaks free of his chains, getting ready to cause a panic amongst New York City.
Help us!
Kong breaks his restraints and runs havoc amongst New York City. Confused and lost, he swings underneath an underpass, hoping to get back home or hoping to find Ann, just something that reminds him of Skull Island, only to run into more resistance of the New York City police.
We had to cordon off the neighborhood. We have to surround him. He's going towards the Empire State Building. Block his way.
Kong takes out most of the US military and the police. He starts heading toward the Empire State Building and the army's there trying to block him off at every turn. The military sets up an ambush in front of the Empire State Building, and it looks like Kong gets cornered.
Shoot him down!
Kong!
Hold your fire!
Kong climbs the Empire State Building with Ann in tow. They both get to the tippy top and Kong gets ready to put up a final defense against the US Air Force. Now ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a final showdown. The King of Skull Island, the Slayer of V-Rexes, the 8th wonder of the world, versus your very own US Air Force. Enjoy.
Move along, folks. Show's over. The airplane's got him.
It wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the beast.
We started our story off wondering if we could beat King Kong using spears, only to find out that no. Not only could we beat King Kong using spears, we could beat King Kong using airplanes. Y'all thought we were done. Nuh-uh, we're not gonna end it off on some cheesy lame-ass line like that. We're gonna save our boy Kong because it's what he deserves. The team of Ubisoft made an alternate ending to go with this game, and it's personally my favorite. Realistic? No, but my favorite? Yes. We hit most of the same beats as Empire State Building, except this time if we last a little bit longer, we get a special cutscene. If you had the chance to save Harambe, wouldn't you? Jack and Captain Anklehorn take the seaplane and put it in combat mode. We go around the Empire State Building firing on enemy airplanes as well as the spotlights. If they're shooting at Kong, they're shooting at me. Every plane possible was shooting at us, but we managed to get all the spotlights out and Kong was able to get down. Somehow, we get Kong back on the venture and we're going back to Skull Island. This time, just as a quick pit stop, not as an actual adventure. I want to take time to thank you guys for sticking with me through this adventure. Whether you came back from watching it earlier or whether you watched the whole thing through in one sitting, thank you so much for watching it. It means the world to me that you watch it. And if you don't watch it, tell me what you didn't like about it. Was it the video length? Was it the editing? Tell me. I'm actually open to criticism, and I'll improve based off your commentary. By the way, let's go see what our buddy Kong wants. He'll probably tell us a funny joke or something like that. Let's see. Kong got the best jokes. Well, we're at the end of our adventure, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the challenge run / slight retrospective. This is still one of my favorite games of all time. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Let me know down below what I can do better. My name is Rogue. And that's my ship calling me. I'm out. Enough said.